right out.
5 or 6 cars length is Mike Williams behind Andrew Ashton, then James Dunkley an equidistant amount behind in 3rd place. Then of course it's Paul Ashton, Dave James coming to the picture now, ahead of Lee McNamara who's leading the class, and Garrard in 7th place. Ian Tom Sanderson in 8th place ahead of Tony Howard, as you say. Simon White just popping up the top 10, but it looks to me, Paul, as though now Andrew Ashton has gone through, Mike Williams has lost some of his speed, and Andrew Ashton has just set a new scorching best lap, 1:49.145. Wow.
Yeah, and we almost lose it there. He's driving so hard. But the other man who's driving hard now is the number 69 car, James Dunkley. He's closing down, and he's going to be challenging for 2nd place in a minute. It looks like Mike Williams, as you say, has lost a bit of it, just a little bit of oomph now. And Terry Bracey Wright, who we haven't mentioned, driving a very good race, Andrew. I think leading Class A, isn't he? He's just come past me, so
Terry, forgive my
good drive by Terry at the moment. Then we've got a one-head lap going past, then Lee McNamara, then it's number 49 car, which is Richard Garrard, then it's Tony Howe, and then it's Simon White. So Simon hasn't managed to get back past Tony Howe during the latter part of this race after the incident. So slightly spaced out now as they come into the mountain. Andrew Ashton probably got the most comfortable lead he's had this race, about 2 or 3 cars lengths.
Let me know what we've got. Concerned about something. He's a relative novice. He carries the black cross against the yellow background, which means that he's in his first 6 circuit races. He must gain a signature from the Motorsports Association stewards, and then he can get his full racing licence. But he was unhappy about something. The team crew have checked the car, they've given him the thumbs up, and he's rejoined, but he's lost an awful lot of time. Okay, well here are the leaders, and Andrew Ashton is pulling away and gets another half his lap, and it's 1:48.488 from Andrew, and he's almost 2 seconds ahead now of Mike Williams. And James Dunkley's run seems to have come to an end at the moment. So Mike Williams and James Dunkley have both set personal best laps of the race. So Mike Williams hasn't really lost the pace. I think what's happened is Andrew Ashton has found it.
Yeah, I think you're right, and those 3 all safely down Park Straight. Paul Ashton having a very lonely race, isn't he? In 4th place, he's got nobody anywhere near him now. So Paul going to finish 4th the way things are going. Then there's a long wait before anybody else comes through. The 5th place, I think, is still Dave James. If it is, he comes into sight, but he's already got nobody in sight along Park Straight. Then behind him, it's the number 49 car of Garrett. Then it's Lee McNamara leading his class. Then it's still Tony Howe holding off Simon. So that's where we are as the leaders, heading for the mountain again. But all of it spaced out now, Andrew.
Yes, indeed.
With distance gone on this race.
There are a few of the 9 minutes still to go, so we're almost not partial to 3/4 distance, I suppose. So I think Andrew Ashton had kept a little bit of speed up his sleeve, you know, and well, maybe his tyres have come to him or whatever, but he's able to go consistently quite a bit quicker than he seems to be able to do early on in the race. He ain't the champion for nothing, as the famous words say. One of the cars smoking ahead there as Andrew Ashton comes up to the lap. He's now 1.9 seconds ahead of Mike Williams, despite the fact that Mike Williams has just set a new best lap of the race. Don't mind, 1:48.4. So Andrew's found the pace. Mike Williams has upped his game, but it's still not enough.
Yeah, and they've got to overtake the Class A leaders now. So that's either going to make or break the race for all 3 of them, I think. They just caught the Class A leaders as they got to the end of Park Straight. So there's a fair bit of lappery going on now. The Jonathan Agar car, which I think is 2nd in Class A, the MG ZR, and of course this is a very standard ZR. It's not like the ones we saw out in the Trophy Championship. It's a good way into racing, ladies and gentlemen, to race a standard MG ZR now in the Metro Challenge. He pulls over as the leader comes down the hill, and it's all getting a bit bunched up here and a bit confused. Mike Williams, the person who's lost out there is definitely the third place man, James Dunkley, Andrew. He had to shut in behind one of the back markers, and I think he's lost a lot of ground. You'll see it when you come around. I don't think he's going to be able to challenge for the second place in the race now.
Okay, so yes, well and truly on. One of the cars smoking quite badly actually towards the field. That's Jonathan Woodcock's car, the 33 car. And we wait then for the completion of lap number 10. Just under 7 minutes to go. And is this Andrew Ashton? Yes, it is. Coming up behind the 29 car of Tim Davies. The gap now just over 2 seconds. James Dunkley, right? He's lost an awful lot of time. Look, broken in half. 3.9 seconds he is adrift now of Mike Williams. Pardon me, I think it was well ahead of Paul Ashton. I mean, he's 7 seconds down the road.
Yeah, the lappery is a bit full around here. Simon White's got past Tony Howe. Now, the significance of all that is that the starting grid for the second MG Metro race tomorrow is the finishing position of this race, Andrew. So Simon White needs to make up as many places as he can in the closing stages of this race to ensure himself as good a grid position as possible tomorrow. So there's no settling for beddling round to getting a finish. They need to make up places both for the championship but also to get good starting positions for the second race tomorrow.
Yeah, have a look out at Simon White and Tony Howe. They are locked.
That's right. Well, in fact, they're all catching Dave James, 96. That battle is James Garrett. Now, Tony Howe's got back past Simon White because Simon White got past Tony. Now, Tony's just passed Richard Garrett. So Tony Howe's made up a place, and I think Simon White's just about to overtake Richard Garrett. So, as I said, this is all very important for tomorrow's race. So,
They are. The 11th lap, 5 minutes to go, so we're just completing 4:50. Here is the race leader now coming through, and suddenly, am I dreaming, or has Mike Williams closed on Andrew Ashton? Well, he's closed the pitch, but it's still 1.9 seconds, so I think that must have been a right. Poor old James Dunkley lost out in that melee. Up by you, Paul, is now 7 seconds down the road, so I think his quest to win this great race has gone. So it's a needle match really between Andrew Ashton and Mike Williams, and I don't think Mike's got an answer to Andrew at the moment.
I don't think he has, and again, back markers have intervened, and I don't think, again, it didn't really help the leader and not the second place man, so that's what happens towards the end of this race. Paul Ashton safely through in 4th place, but the battle for 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th is just coming past you, isn't it? And that's an incredible battle.
Yeah. Now what's happened though to Simon White, because Paul Ashton 4th, Tony Howe 5th, Dave James 6th, Richard Garrett 7th, and Simon White's had a new nasty. He's had a bad lap and he's 8th.
Well, that's, we've got Tony Howe now, Dave James, Simon White now. What's happened to Lee McNamara? Here's Lee McNamara. So all those cars have pulled ahead of Lee McNamara, but he's still comfortably leading his class, isn't he, which is where he wants to be, I think. That's right, and Terry Bracey Wright is still leading his class. I think he's holding on to the Jonathan Agar and Jonathan Woodcock cars.
We mustn't forget that.
place in the race, I'm not sure.
Stopped or something,
He certainly seems to have slowed his pace a bit, and Paul Ashton is catching up. But the leaders are coming down through the gooseneck now. They've sandwiched the back marker. Oh, squeeze in please. Yes, he does. He squeezes over to the right-hand side of the track. That enables Mike Williams to take the racing line. And Mike Williams is only 3 or 4 cars lengths behind Andrew Ashton. I think he's been saving his tyres for one last effort, Andrew. And into the mountain, he's having a go.
Oh my goodness, he is! Car absolutely on the point. So hard is Mike Williams trying. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Suddenly the race has come back alive. Not that it really went to sleep, to be honest. But Mike Williams was a second and a half at the end of the 12th lap. Closing dramatically on the current champion, Andrew Ashton. As they disappeared from view, there was hardly anything in it at all. And as they exit Barn Corner to complete the 13th lap, maybe this will be the lucky one for Mike Williams, because the gap was 1.5 and it's now down to 8/10 of a second, so they charge up the hill, and it won't be long before Mike Williams is close to the flag. Becomes the 6th street, and it could just be a very exciting finish.
It certainly is an exciting finish, Andrew. On the Park Straight, Mike Williams' car, almost a pendulum effect there. You can see him correcting it. The back went out, the front went out. He straightened it out, and he's closing down as they go along Park Straight. Now, somebody's taken to the grass over here in avoidance, but they're back on again. Meanwhile, I noticed Simon White has got past Dave James, and he's right back on the bootleader Tony Howe. So Dunkley comes through, still 3rd. Paul Ashton goes for a trip across the grass. He's still 4th. He's trying as hard as ever, while his lad is at the front of the field. He's in 4th place, and Andrew Ashton still in 2nd place. Sorry, in the lead. Mike Williams is trying so hard. His Metro looks way more twitchy than the leader's car. He's really got it on that twitchiness point where the car is just on the verge of spinning, but he's hanging on to it and driving probably faster than he has all race. So they're into the mountain now with just a car's length between them.
Is this the last lap?
Right, here we go. The very last time in the Drayton Manor Park MG Metro Cup. It looks, to be honest, as though Andrew Ashton has got this one sorted out, but we shall see. We shall see. Not quite so close, to be honest, on this 14th lap as he was before. Tantalisingly, here they come then for the last run to the flag, and it is Andrew Ashton who wins, but by not very much at all. It was only 0.3 of a second, and Mike Williams set a new best lap of the race right on the final lap, 1 minute 48.196, but it wasn't quite enough, and Andrew Ashton wins the race by 0.3 of a second from Mike Williams. James Dunkley, give him a big Cadwell Park hand, ladies and gentlemen. He'll be along in a moment, struggling across the line there in the 32 car.